With the first pick in the 2019 NBA Draft, the New Orleans Pelicans select Zion Williamson from Duke University. With the second pick in the 2019 NBA Draft, the Memphis Grizzlies select Ja Morant from Murray State University. With the third pick in the 2019 NBA Draft, the New York Knicks select R.J. Barrett from Toronto and Duke University.
The Pelicans have agreed to finally trade Anthony Davis to the Lakers. Now, here's the compensation package. Everybody's wondering, what would they give up? Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram. Remember, Ingram has the blood clots in his arm, so that's an issue. Josh Hart and 3 first-round picks.
Now the Warriors just inbound, and that's it. There's a new NBA champion, and it's a team from Toronto, Canada. We, the North, are now we, the champions.
Yo guys, what is up, and welcome to a new series that I will be doing on this channel. Not really a series, kind of like maybe a little bit of a podcast that I'll be doing on this, probably weekly. I'm not too sure how regularly I'm going to do this, but welcome to basically talking NBA. We'll be talking everything basketball, everything in pretty much the week of basketball that has happened. If you guys have any interest in this, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, comment down below, because I'd love to hear your opinions on some of the things that I talk about throughout this series. It's pretty much just going to be raw, just everything coming off. I'll be listing some things I want to talk about during the episode. So if you guys enjoy, like I said, I'd love to hear what you guys think on some of my opinions, and I'd love to hear some of your opinions. So without further ado, let's get it underway. So we just recently had the NBA draft. I thought I'd talk about that, considering it was yesterday. Zion went number 1. We had R.J. Barrett go number 3. We had the top 3 revealed. I'd love to hear what you guys think of the draft, what you guys thought. Oh, here is the draft board. I just put it up for the first round and the second round. Not too many surprises except for Bol Bol. That's something I did want to talk about. Bol Bol was, I think, at the start of the year projected to go in the top 5, top 10. His leg injury kept him out, and he ended up playing 9 games. But Bol Bol slipped all the way. I think it was to 53. It might have been 43, 44. He ended up getting drafted by the Miami Heat, and then traded basically straight away. He was traded to the Denver Nuggets. So that was one big surprise of the draft that I honestly basically just watched the draft because of that. I thought Bol Bol was going to go top 10, top 20, and then when he did not get drafted, it was quite a shock, and it was a bit of a surprise, and that's pretty much what made the draft interesting. I didn't really pay that much attention to the draft because we pretty much knew who the top 3 were going to be. We knew Zion was going to go number 1. It was pretty cool to see how Zion reacted. If you guys have not seen that interview, make sure to go check that out. It was pretty cool to see how he reacted to getting drafted. He straight away just shouted out his mum. He was pretty much overcome with emotions, and that was pretty cool to see. And I really am interested to see how the Pelicans go this year. They've got Lonzo Ball. They've got Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart. Now that they have drafted Zion as well, and they also, I think, drafted Hayes, I think it is. They're going to be a massive force in the West, and if they also manage to get rid of Solomon Hill's contract, and getting rid of that has freed up a lot of cap space. So I'm interested to see the moves the Pelicans make in the NBA free agency, and I'm sure that they could actually they could do some damage this year, and it'd be interesting to see how they do go with Lonzo and all the Lakers players who they did get in that AD trade. R.J. Barrett, I'm extremely excited to watch R.J. Barrett for the New York Knicks. It's pretty disappointing considering Kevin Durant's injury in the NBA Finals, which we will be talking about a bit later on. Could have been playing with KD, could have been playing with Kyrie if Kyrie ended up decided to go with Kevin Durant. But there is lots of rumors that Kyrie Irving may go to the Brooklyn Nets in free agency. But like I said, this could change the NBA landscape, considering Anthony Davis was traded to the Lakers, and they've basically picked up a player who hasn't really had this much attention to them besides LeBron James and Zion Williamson in this year's NBA draft, and honestly cannot wait to see how the Pelicans go. I definitely will be watching with intent. How do you guys reckon they actually go? Do you guys think that they're a chance to finish in the playoffs, or do you think they may be a year off? It really depends, I think, on the free agency players they draft, the players they bring in, and who they do sign. So then we move on to the Anthony Davis trade, which I talked about a little bit just before. Anthony Davis was traded for a lot of players. Have a look at this on the screen. As you guys can see, this is what the Pelicans turned Anthony Davis into. Basically turned Anthony Davis into 11 players if they want to. They managed to get rid of Solomon Hill's contract. The Lakers received Anthony Davis, and it's going to be interesting to see in a week's time when free agency starts who actually decides to come to the Lakers. We've seen that the Lakers can bring in a max player if they do clear a couple of spots. But I tend to believe that Lakers will go towards signing getting some depth in instead of signing that max player. And if they do sign that max player, who will it be? Will it be Kemba? Will it be Kawhi? Will it be Kyrie? We've just seen in the Golden State Warriors series how important depth is. We've seen Kevin Durant injured, and then Klay Thompson got injured. DeMarcus Cousins wasn't healthy, and the Raptors just took full advantage of it. And we've seen it. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Lakers do. Do they bring in a player with that max slot, or do they just fill their roster up? Comment down below what you guys think. I definitely believe the Lakers will go ahead and sign depth players, including Danny Green, Markieff Morris, Patrick Beverley. It'd be really, really good to come off the bench or even start for him. Even bringing back Rajon Rondo would be really, really cool. But they still have Kyle Kuzma, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do, and yeah, pretty much to see where they go with these free agency picks. So another trade that hasn't really been spoken about, I have not seen on any of the talk shows or anything, is the Mike Conley trade. The Mike Conley trade happened the other day. He was traded from the Utah Jazz. I'm not too sure how many players was actually in that trade, but Conley is now on the Utah Jazz. I think they're going to be an extreme contender in the West this year, considering Golden State Warriors will not, with Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant being out. The West has opened right up. So the Utah Jazz gave up Jay Crowder, Kyle Korver, Grayson Allen, and the 23rd pick for Mike Conley. And Mike Conley, yes, has been in Memphis pretty much his whole career. It's going to be interesting to see how he goes playing with Rudy Gobert and players like that. I think that is going to be really, really interesting, and it's going to be really fun to watch. Do you guys think the Utah Jazz will finish in the top 4, top 8? I actually do think they will finish close to the first seed. No, I honestly believe Donovan Mitchell, Donovan Mitchell, Mike Conley, and Rudy Gobert is going to be a real problem for the Western Conference. So there hasn't been really any other trades. There's been some little trades here and there. I've seen Aaron Baines got traded. Considering he's an Australian and I'm from Australia, it's pretty upsetting to see that he actually brought into his contract just to be traded from the Boston Celtics. I'm not too sure what's happening in the Boston Celtics at the moment, but that is very interesting. But like I said, as this series goes on, as the season, the free agency opens up, there's going to be tons and tons of trades that happen. So I will be breaking them and having a look down and just seeing who won the trade. So moving on, I thought I'd talk about the NBA Finals, considering that finished, I think it was around a week ago. The Toronto Raptors won that in 6. Kevin Durant, what a series actually. That was a crazy series to watch. Raptors took game 1, Warriors took game 2, and then the Raptors came into Oracle and did not lose a game on Golden State's home floor. Kevin Durant came back, I think it was game 5, and was rolling. I think he had 11 points in around 9 minutes, and then he went down with a non-contact injury, another really scary injury. Straight away, everyone assumed it was his calf, but then it's been relayed that he did rupture his Achilles, and Golden State lost Kevin Durant. And I thought Toronto would go on and win that game, considering Golden State just lost their best player, and all the life that they had was sucked out of that moment. But Golden State ended up winning that game, and I don't know about you, but Klay Thompson was rolling in Game 6, and it really did look like Golden State were going to force a Game 7, and then Klay Thompson went up for a dunk, copped a little bit of contact from Danny Green, come down pretty hard, and suffered a torn ACL, and it was quite remarkable to see, considering Klay Thompson came back onto the court and shot his 2 free throws, knocked them down, and tried to play with a torn ACL. And seeing some of the tweets from people saying that Klay Thompson wanted to come back on was crazy. But Kawhi Leonard, too much for Golden State. I really thought Fred VanVleet was a chance for the Finals MVP. He was amazing in this series. He was just knocking some massive shots down when the Raptors needed him. And I actually I genuinely believe that I do think Golden State would have won that series in 6 if Kevin Durant and Klay were healthy. But full credit to Toronto. What happens with Kawhi next, we're not too sure. What happens next for the Warriors with Kevin Durant, Klay basically not going to be available for the whole next 2019-2020 season. Who do they sign? Who do they bring in? But I honestly believe that Kawhi Leonard will stay in Toronto. If he does leave, I think he'll probably end up on the Clippers. And imagine he brings a championship to Toronto, then he goes to the Clippers and to Los Angeles, and he brings a championship there. That'd be massive. But Finals MVP for Kawhi Leonard. Also shout out to Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry was massive in that series. He showed up massive when in the previous years you really couldn't say that Kyle Lowry was a major impact player in the playoffs, but he was massive in the series. Freddie VanVleet, Serge Ibaka was massive off the bench, and Steph Curry struggled, I think, near the end of the series considering all the workload he had to put into that Trailblazers series. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson in free agency, considering they're free agents, what happens there. So, leading on to my last topic for this episode, I thought I'd just talk about the upcoming free agency period that will start in a week. Starting in about a week or so, we have a range of free agents in this year. Kyrie Irving, Jimmy Butler, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, both injured. Kawhi Leonard's a free agent. It's going to be so interesting to see where all these players end up. I think I will do an episode just before free agency starts where I'll try and predict where all these players are going to go to, and then we'll go back and we'll compare the pair and see what the difference was in the trades. But I want to know what you guys think. I'm going to list 3 players, and maybe we can all guess Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving. There's been murmurs that Kyrie Irving could end up on the Brooklyn Nets, but then I was reading something today actually that apparently Brooklyn aren't as keen as they were, considering Kevin Durant. There was a high chance that Kyrie Irving was going to bring Kevin Durant to Brooklyn if they were to sign there. But a lot of exciting weeks coming for the NBA. Yes, the NBA season is finished, but there is a lot of exciting weeks to come. We've got free agency, we've got the Summer League, we'll be able to see Zion in action, see all the draft picks, Bol. I'm actually really interested to see how he goes. I also think Denver are so overpowered, but I might do another video about that later on, just talking about NBA teams for the 2019-2020 season. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, my first episode of just talking NBA. Our next episode, I think we'll be talking a lot about the free agency period, where people are going to go. I actually might dive into the Houston Rockets turmoil, what's going on there with James Harden and Chris Paul, and also talk about the recent NBL signings of future NBA stars. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this first episode. I'll see you in the next one.